Welcome to the following presentation of Minor League Esports on the MLE Network.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Minor League Esports here on the mainstream. Here on Twitch.tv, we are bringing you some regular season action. We're at week 8 of 12. We're at the end of the mid-season bulk of action, and we have another frantic set of games coming up for today, for tomorrow on this stream. One already played on the B stream, and we have so much more to show you in terms of the quality, in terms of the high-octane power and quality that you have seen all season long throughout Minor League Esports. I am Fallen, and joining me for this is a man I've never had the privilege of commentating with before, but I have today. It is Foof. Hello, Foof. How are you doing, buddy?
I am doing amazing. I am joining the one, the only Fallen. I have been before you, I have been after you, but like you said, never been in the same booth at the same time. It is an absolute wonder to be here. It's an absolute wonder to be here on MLE, especially on Saturday night kicking us off. You said it, 4 more games getting ready to get 2 here, you and I, and 2 on the back half. So very important thing, week 8 playoff races, all of these things coming to a head with only 4 weeks left. Fallen, we have some very exciting PL action.
Yeah, we have the Outlaws versus the Elite. A tale of two sides, I feel, is the description of this one. The Outlaws, same roster we've seen all season long, and Lazarus and Lottie Lettuce have played every single one of their 6 series, going 20-10, leading their division.
Pretty good.
That automatically puts them in a playoff spot. Pretty good, yeah, exactly. 5-1 series record. They've been a very strong team. The only difference is the team they're coming up against has been a little bit lackluster in terms of the results side of things. A 7-23 Elite with Distant and their newest signing, Ben, playing. Ben, I believe, with 3 N's to specify him from all of the other Bens in the league. It's a definite possibility that an upset could happen, but it's not very likely.
Well, it is PL. It's a lot of mechanics and a lot of solid play. The thing here that really separates teams from another is consistency, and that is exactly what the Outlaws have done. They have played this pairing on and on and on and on and on again. So, Fallen, we know what we're getting from the Outlaws. We have Lottie, we have Lazarus. They are going to do exactly what they've done, and that's why they have 20 wins. Now, new player Ben coming in with Distant, who has been the player on this Elite squad that has 6 of the 7 wins, man. That's a pretty good feeling when you know you are the guy getting the wins, but we're hoping that he can push towards double digits tonight.
Yeah, Distant has been that man for the Elite, but really, without the presence of Gumbachi, who I believe assisted Distant in getting the Elite's only series win this season, it feels like the Elite definitely on that uphill struggle to try and get into the top 2 in their division. Reminder, for Premier League, the way the playoffs work, top 2 from each division go through for their conference. They will make it through to the finals, and this being an Orange Conference matchup, if I'm remembering which side of the bracket these guys are on. I'm mostly certain we don't play the Outlaws in the Blue Conference, so they must be Orange. It feels like we have a lot to work with here, and a lot of teams definitely looking to try and make the push. Outlaws have looked strong all season, top of their division for a reason. Can they keep this momentum going? Same roster, same result is probably the expected outcome.
Same roster, same result. I think that's like the greatest tagline you could have to have if you're the Outlaws. That's definitely want to go for. And we've already said it. Lottie Lettuce and Lazarus kicking us off here on the Outlaws in the purple. It's been in Distant, and now an early opportunity. You cannot give Lottie Lettuce that. They strike, and it's only 6 seconds in.
Yeah, and it's the fake death from Lazarus. Baits out Ben, who has to try and cover the shot. Instead, just lets the ball fly right past him. It's an uncharacteristic mistake in Premier League. Remember, this is around your GC23/SSL quality players. These are as close as we'll get to RLCS caliber in Minor League Esports, but also at the same time, we just have so many good players. And in the trademark MLE2's side of things, it'll be interesting to see how these two pair up so far. Ben, first first series, and it's on screen. Can he do something spectacular? Beats out one. Challenge from distance will keep this one in the pressure zone, but the Elite are able to put that one on target as it will be cleared down the field by the Outlaws. We're looking to try and build some constant offense for themselves, but some good defensive work from both sides, not really giving up too much room or too many shots. And dangerous opportunity though for the Elite if they can get on the end of this one before Lazarus, and well, the defense will hold strong and the Outlaws will survive.
It felt like, a rope you're trying to throw for the Elite. Yeah, maybe they can get there. No, Lazarus was back in time, but Distant tries to find it. Lottie, a dangerous touch off of his own crossbar there. You got to be careful with those types of balls because in PL, players take advantage of almost any opportunity you give them, and that is how the Outlaws scored early. Distant putting it off the backboard here, trying to find their teammate Ben, putting some shot on, but that's going to go to row 7 instead, a little bit too far and up to the left. Lottie getting through the smoke, but Distant with a very good 50. I like the Elite's play here. They win it at midfield. They double commit there, though. Both purple cars being very aggressive right now, only a minute and a half in.
Yeah, you've got to feel like the chemistry won't necessarily be there opening doors for these two teams, or at least for the Elite. The Outlaws, though, have everything already pretty much wrapped up in a bow. Everything just working for them. Lettuce with the flick over the top of one. Bumps Ben out of the way, gets him out of the shot. Only by a matter of inches, though, as Lazarus will slot that one in. 2 goals to nil for the Outlaws, and, well, about what we expected coming into this one. The Elite, they were requiring a bit of a miracle if they wanted to make it through, but this one's starting to become a little bit more like they need a 3rd day raising, because this is already, it's looking a little bit Christ-like.
Well, see, I was sitting there trying to, I was waiting to finish there. Like, don't put them out just yet. But maybe that's what Lottie's go ahead and doing, just putting them out. 3-goal lead, just gets it on top of that Dominus. And you talked about the high-octane gameplay. Where's the Dominus love, man? That's what getting the goal there, extending the lead. 3-0 for the Outlaws. Distant the Elite, they have been put on the back burner right now, and they have to find something fast.
I've been watching Lottie play in MLE for the better part of 3 seasons now, and I've always been amazed by just how talented, how good he has been. When he's either been on the Wolves or the Outlaws, he's just looked like one of the best players at all times. Always has the ability to change the game. The Elite, though, looking to try and do that themselves. Ben, good tee-up play there, but Lazarus will be equal to it on the goal line. Distant takes his time, goes up to the backboard. Good pinch down, but again, Lazarus, great car positioning again to keep that one away. Ben, opportunity here to bring this one forward. Good 50 game, but we'll have to rotate out, and Lettuce will take a snapshot and almost force an uncharacteristic mistake out of the 2 PL Elite players. Ben, for the pass, can't find it. Lazarus now trying to apply sort of an anaconda vice in the midfield, keep the chokehold in, not allow them to break out, and the Outlaws are definitely causing some constrictions on that defense. There is no way for the Elite to get out of their own half, especially with this amount of pressure.
Well, it's just sitting at midfield and collecting boost, collecting the ball. Currently collecting teammates from Lottie, getting the bump there. Lazarus on the backboard there, not in time, but Distant wasn't ready for it. So a one-on-one opportunity. Lottie has it on that Dominus, a beautiful touch, trying to find a double, and it's going to put it back towards the middle. But no, Outlaw there. The lone rider into the sunset, but unfortunately no goal to be had for the Outlaws as the ball kind of settles at midfield. Distant going for a touch there, just trying to draw an Outlaw player up. A very good touch from Ben. It drops down, but Lazarus keeps the goose egg for the purple side. Distant for the Ben. Ben gets a shot technically, but I think it was an own save instead. The demo worked, but not to perfection. It is still 3-0.
Yeah, got the defender out of the way. Couldn't get himself out of the way. Could Distant. We'll put this one off the crossbar. Ben will finally find the follow-up to make it 3-1. The Elite needed that goal, I feel, to calm the composure, the nerves, all of it. Just sort of coming to a head. Lettuce not able to read that one into the back of the net. And really, the Elite, they've had good pressure. It's just the finishing has let them down a couple of times, either through fortunate or unfortunate mistakes, uncharacteristic mistakes, though, out of the Outlaws. Defense will give the Elite that room, that time. They have a goal, and it's only a 2-goal cushion now as the Outlaws look to try and bring it back up to 3. They're going to need a goal to make this one feel a little bit more secure.
Something that's been really fun to watch is both of these teams excel in 2-on-1 situations, as the Outlaws have had it more often. And when the Elite were pushing on the pressure, they were able to keep it 2-on-1 and then were able to break through. So, Outlaws here defending a 2-goal lead. He's got Lazarus there, but Distant up in time, intercepting that pass, trying to find a dish into the corner. An interesting read there. Lazarus letting it go over as Lottie. A lot of time, a lot of space, but not a lot of boost. But that's a free goal. There's nobody home.
I'm a little confused by the defensive rotation here, trying to find out what exactly happened. Did Ben not rotate back in time?
There wasn't one.
No distance. Yeah, there was no one back at all. The Elite, a bit of a miscommunication there, and that's really all that's going to take. And I think that's game set wrapped up here for game number 1. Ben will fake the kickoff, trying to bait out something from Lettuce, but Lettuce not a little wiser to it. Looking for a play for Lazarus. There's the pinch in front of the net. Distant will deal with this one. Now, a good flick over the top, but it just feels like there's a communication breakdown between the Elite right now. Neither team necessarily looking for the most mechanical of plays. Distant will look to try and do something with this one. Goes up, is going to look for the double tap. Great save by Lottie Lettuce to keep it at bay. The Elite resigned, it feels, to lose game number 1, but they do have a series still to win. They have 4 more games to go. Can they find a way to do so? Distant, good clearance away to try and get a consolation goal. Won't find it. The Outlaws will take game number 1 in this 5-game series where we will play all 5 games.
It is MLE. We have to play all 5, and that is what is important. It is not overall series record, Fallen. It is about how many games you win and trying to get in that playoff. So, Elite, like you said, they have a very tough mountain to climb, trying to eke up and get to 2nd in their division. They have to get some wins here. Distant and Ben, not a terrible showing there. 7 shots, 5 saves. They just got hemmed in so many times in their own side, and that allowed that pressure, like you said, to build from the Outlaws. And usually in a game like that, it means it builds and builds and builds, and then they score. They just scored to start the game, so they just got to control the pace and control the clock after that.
Yeah, I wanted to point out something. In terms of the 9 shots from the Outlaws, 5 saves from the Elite. The ones that weren't saved found their way into the back of the net. For the Elite, though, it's a little different. They had 7 shots. The Outlaws only had 2 saves, one of which was an incredible save on the goal line by Lazarus to keep it at bay. But the rest of those shots, almost all unaccounted for. 1 goal out of the 5 remaining. It has just been a very rough start on the offensive front for the Elite as we now move to Neo Tokyo for game number 2. It's definitely starting to look a little worrying for the Elite. They needed to find a strong start. They weren't able to do so. And we now find ourselves with an interesting dynamic where I believe one of the players is not in the game currently. Might have to get a lobby reset on this one. But for the Outlaws, yes, we're getting some lightning. Yeah, we're getting the lightning show. It's all great. We're loving this. You're not seeing anything. You're just seeing our wonderful faces and this beautiful man right next to me.
Oh,
it definitely feels like it's just an awkward situation for the Elite where they've got to come back from what is only a single game deficit, but it feels like a bit of a class deficit as we will get that lobby reset now.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that. It was just they were firmly in control. The Outlaws, they scored early, they scored often, they scored a third just to put it on, and that was the dunk. And in real sports, being physically imposing is something you can do naturally. In esports, it's a lot harder to do. Feeling that ball being scored from midfield by Lottie, that felt like this is our series. Elite, you're going to have to step up and answer our call anytime we do it. And so I want to see them do that. I want to see Ben and Distant step up. They can. They had the pressure. They forced the Outlaws into their own end for 20, 25, 30 seconds and got a goal off of it. You just have to be more consistent on that end.
And we did see a good amount of opportunities coming out from them. The pressure they were able to apply was good. It's just a couple of communication errors just cost them when they needed them the most. And that sort of happens when you have a situation like this, where you've got a player who's new to the league, who hasn't played before. It definitely feels like there's a little bit of a chemistry disconnect, and it can cost teams those vital moments in those series where they need to pick up a game win and they just can't. As we now maybe look to try and get back into this one and making sure I'm typing the password correctly.
I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not able to find the server, unfortunately, so we'll get onto that one in a bit. But for the sake of brevity, the Outlaws now, they're looking to consolidate that number 1 spot at the top of the division, starting off the right way. That aggressive play we saw out of both Lottie and, oh my lord, Lazarus. Sorry, I just had a mental break there. As turns out, he typed the password wrong. Thank you, JSA. Love you, buddy.
Oh, man.
You will not appreciate that. For the sake... There's a non-toxic community. We are not toxic.
It's loving.
Friendly banter.
Yep.
It's loving, friendly banter. He's typing. As we look to get game number 2 here at Neo Tokyo, it did definitely been a strong start for the Outlaws. They needed a good couple of wins here to maybe secure that spot at the top. They haven't necessarily been the best team in terms of picking up dominant series wins, but they've been picking up series wins which have been crucial in getting them to that 20-10 standing.
Hey, it's all about getting the wins. That's really what it is. And if you practice only clean series and you get to the playoffs and have that first gritty series, you might end up losing that because you're not used to going to 5-7 games. So it's always important to get that practice ahead. And it seems like Lottie and company, the Outlaws, they do this and they do it well. And I want to go back to what you said. Same roster, same result. That is their plan. That is their action. That is what is unfolding after game 1. And so they're trying to do that again. And Elite, you got to disrupt it, guys. You just got to step up. You got to be a little bit more aggressive, but you need to cut down on those double commits, honestly.
Yeah, and speaking of, despite the fact that they have played every single one, both Lottie and Lazarus are both in the top 10 for the most goals for Premier League 2s this season. Lottie was on 54 coming into the series, Lazarus 47. It's a lot of goals scored. And across the board, no elite player anywhere even close to it. Lazarus actually has second place for saves as we look to get a replacement in for Ben.
Wait, it's coming in. It can't be. You called him earlier, Fallen. Gumbachi coming in.
Oh my God,
he's going to be tagging in the mystery number 30 entrant coming in at Tokyo. It's important. This could be the turning point, Fallen. They are bringing the closer after only one game. So, helping to get that series win, probably having a 5-10 record is Gumbachi. So, that is assumed who got that win with distance. So, the winning couple versus the only couple. What more could you ask for?
Well, a win for the Elite, I assume, at this point. Well, at least that's what they're looking for. 4 games still to play in this series. We are going to Neo Tokyo next. And I was just wondering for the Twitch chat, because apologies for this intermission. We do have some player issues that have caused this, which is why you've been sat on our faces for the better part of 5.5 minutes now. I wanted to ask chat, I'm not going to be able to see the response, but I know that I'm going to get notified of the response anyway. Who do you think is going to take this series? I want to see hashtag OUT for Outlaws or hashtag ELI for the Elite. I want to see which one of these teams is going to come away with the win, because I personally would have put money on the Outlaws to begin with this series, but especially after that game 1, even with Gumbachi coming in, you can't bet against them, in my opinion.
Well, it is very hard to bet against a winning horse, especially when you see it happening in front of you and they already have a lead. So, but the story, Fallen, the team that has fallen on hard times, they have an under double digits wins, but they're bringing in this hot tag to help get this team back distant, and hopefully Gumbachi turning it around here. I think if they are able to either get a big-time goal to start this game off or get a couple of saves, that will settle him in, and that will allow this Elite to start to gel again.
Yeah, and speaking of Gumbachi, he is the best player, I think, across the board for 2s in terms of this roster. Played it in 3 series, 15 games total, has a 2.2 goals per game average. That is
pretty good.
That is in scrims, however. This isn't the actual series we are talking about. This is in terms of playing against every player in Premier League to stay eligible throughout the season. And really, that shows, I think, a level of quality that Gumbachi has in comparison to a lot of other players in Premier League. Has the ability to put goals in, put shots on target, a 4.5 shots per game average. It's not the highest, it's actually lower than distance, but again, just showing that there is quality across that board. Let's get ready to go. It's game number 2. We're actually going to get going, ladies and gentlemen. No more stalling on our faces. And the kickoff will go in favour of the Elite as they look to try and get a goal and maybe get a game out of this series.
Well, Fallen, rarely ever do you get a tactical timeout, and that's exactly what the Elite got here. So, trying to use it is Distant and Gumbachi. They have the pressure early. Lazarus sneaking it past one, trying to sneak it past the second, and does. Now, a lot of free real estate. He's got to catch up. That Octane, a beautiful job keeping momentum. An early goal. It took more than 6 seconds this time, but the Outlaws back on top.
Yeah, I know we aren't necessarily 2 players that are familiar with the upper echelons of Premier League that much in terms of play style for ourselves, but the pace difference is incredible. To just watch how quickly they're able to recover and move around the field. Lazarus, perfect example of it. Now Lori Lettuce will look to try and do it himself. In that Dominus love that you have, goes underneath one and distant. Beautifully placed, beautiful save to keep out the flip reset. Great job from him to try and recover off of the back of that long break after that loss in game 1 that was quite heavy and quite hard for them to take, you must feel. Gumbachi though, looking to try and open one up for the Elite, can't find a way to put that on target, and Lazarus will just about clear it to the corner. Distant, makes out a touch, and Lori Lettuce will be forced to play it off the sidewall. Gumbachi, great challenge. Maybe the Elite will get a shot here. Distant, great catch, looks to try and go over the top of one, but Lazarus reads it well and will clear it all the way down the field. The Elite not finding any necessarily offensive creativity here. It's a little bit of just send it towards the net and hope, and that's not really working when Lazarus is on the goal line.
Just the chuck and chase right now as both teams kind of spreading it out. And something that's really fun to watch as this pace picks up is any mistake is so much bigger because all of these cars aren't really tight, but they get to the ball so quick. They have very good reads. They have a very good idea of where this ball is going, how they can make a play, and there's Lottie doing it again, seeing the out-of-position defense and taking advantage of it.
Yeah, great touch here. Takes it away from Gumbachi over the top and Distant, just recovering off the backboard, not able to get out there quick enough. Lettuce knowing that just a little bit of an extra touch sends that one a little harder, sends that one home, and Lettuce with his second goal, I believe, maybe third or fourth of the series. A lot of goals already for him to his name. One of the best goal scorers in the league for Premier League 2s. He has just looked ever so good already in this series. And the Outlaws back to that comfortable 2-goal lead. They are applying pressure though. They do not want this to just be a 2-0. They want more. They are not comfortable with just 2. They want more goals. And the Elite and holding firm for the most part.
They're doing just enough on the back end to not give up these big-time plays, but when you see them commit like that, a beautiful touch from Distant, mind you, I'll put a pin in that thought because a beautiful bar down finds it and the Elite cut the lead in half.
Yeah, pass from Gumbachi, Distant not necessarily ready for it, but gets up so quickly. Up off the crossbar, bounces down. If that didn't hit the crossbar, money's on Lazarus saving that. He's up there ready for it, but it hits the bar and bounces underneath him into the net. It's the only place that could have worked, and Distant found it. That is what the Elite need. A little bit of luck, a little bit of fortune, maybe a little bit of perfect placement. And now, as the Elite try and hold on to this 1-goal game, they're trying to push on, maybe make it a tied game, but it would take another goal and another great attack from Distant and Gumbachi to do so. That would also require them to break down the defense of Lettuce and Lazarus one more time, which is, as the series progresses, incredibly unlikely, especially with their offense on fire like that.
It just feels like any time that the Elite can wrestle some momentum, the Outlaws, they're still in control. It doesn't matter. The momentum always is on this gray side. They are ready, they are willing, and they will make a goal when it needs to happen.
They've done a great job so far at silencing the Elite when they have been able to get a goal. It's immediately countered, there's a goal going the other way, and there's nothing that the Elite can do about it because they're able to open up the defense so quickly. Now another 2v1 situation. Gumbachi does a good job with the first 50 to keep it away, but Lazarus not going to keep this one much longer. We'll try and force it into the Elite end. Cannot find a way through. Distant. It's red. The pinch again from the Outlaws, just keeping them in their own half. It's been so crucial to their game plan. You can see them diving in, making so many quick challenges, and taking the Elite into those uncomfortable positions. Lazarus will make it 4 and will get his hat-trick in the process.
Have yourself a day, Outlaws, and Lazarus having their own another one and another hat trick for these guys. They continue to pour it on, and you said it earlier, they are not content with any lead. They want to pressure, and if there is an opportunity, they will score. And so just beautiful job here, but Distant getting a win on the kickoff and going to walk it off of that really good stall from Gumbachi.
Yeah, great job from Gumbachi here. Lettuce goes to the speed, good counter from Gumbachi, and Distant just getting the perfect touch. Lazarus does not see it coming. It's very hard to read those,
do that.
I found, when you're cheating goal. Because it's very quickly, if you don't put the car in the right place about half a second beforehand, well, that's it. That's a goal the other way. You're not keeping that one out. It's played perfectly to the advantage of Distant. Again, a little fortunate, but we'll find the goal. And the Elite, very fortunate that Lazarus could not slot that one on the inside of the post, as the Elite will keep this one at a 2-goal game.
Don't let me read too far into this, but that is the first non-answer, and no, maybe it is!
Oh!
I didn't read too far into it, Fallen. Immediately, the Outlaws can't answer. The Elite wrestle 2 goals back-to-back. They are only down 1. 1:19. This is doable. Gumbachi making the spark. Maybe this will turn into a blaze that gives us more of a series.
The question, though, is does that count as an own goal? We've had the discussion a couple of times in the broadcast server. Does
Yes.
chances like that count as an own goal? You're going to count it? Okay, well, I count that as a drive from distant, and we've got a tied game here, 4-4, out of absolutely nowhere.
I told you, it's when a mistake happens, teams pounce on it. The Outlaws could not capitalize on that goal to make that strike back. The Elite score immediately again, and then they get another kickoff goal. It goes from a 2-goal deficit to a tie ball game. That is how important every interaction is, and Gumbachi standing tall. The Elite, the kickoff plays, they're too OP.
I'm kind of confused. We've gone from 4-1 to 5-4 in half a minute. Less than, maybe. Excuse me. Lettuce is confused in chat. there's a couple of memes you can pick out of this. Someone called Gerald. We've got a meme here we need to talk about. But Lettuce definitely looking to try and get one back for the Outlaws. Lazarus goes up for this card. Get a great touch. That one's just going to tee up an opportunity for the Elite. Gumbachi feed onto Lettuce. That one's in front of the net, but that bump from Lazarus will keep them at bay. Beautifully timed with 0 boost in the tank, does a great job, and again Lettuce also with 0 boost in the tank has to rotate out, and the Elite will be able to hold on defense, maybe push for their own offense once again. They just have to try and get past a rather shaken Outlaws side.
Well, the Outlaws, it's just plain and simple. The wise man once said, everyone has a plan until you're punched in the face, and that is exactly what has happened to the Outlaws. They were in control. They were riding high. A beautiful touch there. Lottie and Lazarus, no one home, just going to put it in and tie this game back up. Outlaws have been reeling, but they are not out of it in time.
Lazarus sent Gumbachi to the moon with that ball. Gumbachi jumps up, double jumps, looks for a fancy aerial, and just gets sent away from the ball. Tie game here. The Outlaws once again find themselves with a possibility of just sealing this one before overtime. However, the Elite, they have that same opportunity. 1 goal decides it right now, and the Elite are looking to fight it. Gumbachi won't find a way to put that past Lazarus. That ball will fall. Distant will put it on target, and Lettuce will be forced to make the save. The Outlaws will not let this one fall just yet, but Gumbachi seems very willing to. Game 2 overtime, Foof. I feel like the series can go to a game 5 now at this rate.
Well, we got to worry about winning game 2, so a golden goal situation has arisen. It is up to both of these teams to just kind of grab this game and run with it. Distant trying to get a bump there, but Lazarus, very good read and able to push the ball out. Lottie up in time, a nice soft touch here, trying to get control. That Dominus is still flying. Not enough boost, though, to stay with it. Distant pushing it out. He's actually going to trade possession here. So a handshake at midfield as it actually goes back to Gumbachi. An interesting turn of events there. Lottie 50s hard. The ball still on this purple half. A very good read by Lazarus, but I don't know if that was the actual play they wanted. Distant has it on top of that Octane. Lottie pressuring once again this ball. Still bouncing around on this purple half. It's in here for about 30 seconds. A demo coming through from Lottie. Lottie trying to find a shot, but it was not enough of an angle.
Yeah, the demo onto Distant as well before that play opened up. Lazarus really seems content with just trying to tee up Lottie here with passes, and if that's the strategy they want to go with, then go for it, because Lettuce has proven time and time again he can score when he needs to. Distant, though, the main goal scorer for the Elite. Lazarus has to make an incredible stop off his own crossbar to keep that one out. Distant again, another shot, another save from Lazarus. And now the Outlaws on the counter-attack, up the far end. Lettuce has to put it on target, and he does. Near-angle shot will make it 6-5, secures game 2, and match point goes to the Outlaws.
So what was that, a 3-1, 4-1 run there for the Elite?
4-1?
Yeah, a 4-1 run for the Elite, and then the Outlaws wrestle it back, get the tire, and then win it in overtime. The Outlaws honestly looked like they were lost there for the past 40, 45 seconds in that regulation, but wrestle it back off of 2 big assists there coming up from Lottie. And you said it, Lottie was the one they were looking for, but ends up being the big assist that helped them get it to OT and then gets that second goal. So a beautiful job from them.
Yeah, and a great job from Lazarus as well. Those 7 shots. I mean, it's an incredible job to be up the field and putting in the most goals whilst also making the most saves of anyone on the field. It's an incredible, it's a testament to just the incredible versatility of these Premier League players, the ability to rotate in and out of offense, defense just so consistently. But the real point of contention has to be Distant. What a game, too, that man had. Single-handedly, I believe, scored 3 of the 4 goals. 9 shots to his name. The one shot Gumbachi had was an open net off a kickoff to make it 5-4. But the rest was all Distant. Making chances, scoring chances, winning the 50s when he needed to, getting the goals off the kickoffs. He was the man at the front. And if there's going to be a man to bring us home and bring the elite back into this one, you feel like it's on his shoulders now.
I have to disagree because we've seen what Distant can do. We obviously know that he can be it, but we need to see if Gumbachi can be the one that steps up. And they step up and answer that call. That is the difference maker there. And it's not that Gumbachi had a bad game. 2 big assists, a lot of good plays, but if you can find a way to get some more shots off to help with that pressure, that helps that team so much. And here we are, Game 3. This is truly where the series begin to take shape. It is a 2-0 lead for the Outlaws. Gumbachi and company find a crack shot, and there it is. I said it. He answered the call only 12 seconds in.
Apparently, we are still on our face cams, so if you want to look at the camera real quick. Hi guys. So to quickly radio call that, Gumbachi opens the scoring for the elite there. A bit of a double tap off of the side of the net. Hey, we're into the game. Thank you, Maple. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the gameplay. I know you previously looked at a scoreboard, the high level of MLE content that we put out here. It is high quality. It is brilliant, and so is the gameplay. We are watching the Outlaws applying pressure, but again, no breakthrough, and now the offenses feel a little bit flip-flop from game number 1, because if you remember previously, I stated that the Elite's offense looked a little bit sort of one-note. They didn't have that much creativity. It's now the Outlaws the opposite way. They don't have that much to go with, and it's really benefiting the elite, who have just been able to open up their repertoire, create chances that originally they couldn't, and things are just starting to go their way a little bit more as these chances almost fall their way completely.
Well, there was a 2-1 opportunity. You saw the bump try to come through, Distant rotating beautifully through the net, grabbing boost on the way back to support Gumbachi. A demo being written up by Lazarus. Lottie, a lot of free space. You don't want to give this dominance, but a very good backflip staying on the ball. Oh no, the elite, a miscommunication, but Gumbachi gets it in. Okay.
Breathe. The elite can breathe. This gets the touch, puts it beyond Lazarus, but the sort of trip from Gumbachi just drives forward and lets Lazarus flip over his car. One wheel touches, and all of a sudden that flip, that half flip, that side flip, where you rotate a little faster on the ball just to make sure you get to it as quickly as possible, well, that's undone because now you're flipping upside down and you can't get back around. And once again, the Outlaws have no goal to stand on. They are 2 goals down. Make that 3! Distant will slam that one home over the top of the last defender off of a great Gumbachi Tio.
Was that a self? Like, I looked like an attempt for the flip reset double tap, and then it ends up being a beautiful pass out to Distance. So maybe a fake, maybe 200 IQ mind games, but Fallen, it doesn't matter. I asked him to step it up. 2 goals, 1 assist. Gumbachi having a game, looking for another one there off of the near post. Can't find it. The elite, they have come out swinging. Up in time is Lottie. The Outlaws, they have been beaten. They are being pushed down. They are down 3 goals, but they have a 2-game lead. Distant and company now sitting on their own side, have control for the moment as Lottie wins a 50 at midfield.
Good challenge here from Lazarus. That's on target. Gumbachi has to rotate back post. It's a great job and actually puts that one on target, but Lazarus will be equal to it. And the play, for the first time, I feel like in about 6.5 minutes, slows down. We have a little bit of patience, a little bit of time to talk just about everything. It's an amazing double save. Gumbachi keeps that one at bay, keeps the Outlaws at bay, and the elite have just been so much better since the beginning of game number 2. Yes, of course, they had the awful start. They went 4-1 down, come back 5-4 though. It takes guts, it takes a lot of skill, because these games are normally a lot closer than a 4-1 deficit would sort of dictate. But for the elite, the fact that they were able to pull that back when clearly they were getting outclassed, especially in game 1, is a testament to the character as they make it 4 now. Gumbachi, another assist, another goal for Distant.
I hate to harken back to what I said. If you remember what I talked about before the games even got played, what I said would be the important factor: consistency. And that's what it is. You get used to how a team plays in the first game, and then they swap someone out to where Distant and Gumbachi, they have been the twos players for the Elite. So, their consistency's back up, and so Lottie and Lazarus had the hard reset. And while that time, Distant and Gumbachi struck, and forced OT in Game 2, Lottie and Lazarus are reeling right now. They do not have the same cohesion. The Wi-Fi network that was perfectly in tune is out of sync here, and they just have to get it back because it is a 4-goal deficit, and it's not going to get any easier from here.
We saw a 3-goal deficit be taken down in about 45 seconds by the Elite. How about 4? Well, Lazarus will start the comeback. Minute 30 on the clock. 3 goals to find. It's a 4-1 goal difference once again. We find this scoreline so often in this series. The first game ended this way. The comeback began with a 4-1 scoreline in Game 2. Are we about to see another situation just like the one previously? Or are the Outlaws just giving us false hope?
It's just
I don't know.
I was gonna say
I don't
kick off. Well, that's the beauty of it, Fallen. We're at PL. It's consistently inconsistent. Everyone's up and down. Everyone's trying to find the touches. It's finding the ball and putting the ball in the net, because whoever has the most goals at the end of regulation usually wins. But you have to put them in the correct goals. So Lottie Lettuce ends up running it back here. I like the decision, but that demo was big from Gumbachi. A 2-on-1 opportunity. Now a nice shot from Distant, but he's the only Elite player there. The lone Monarch in front of the net. Nothing to be found this time. Lazarus pass one. They've got a 2-on-1 for the Outlaws. Distant running near post. A very good slow play here. Lazarus, though, beaten by Gumbachi once again. And you know those bracelets that you could slap it and they come onto your wrist? Oh my god, it doesn't matter because Gumbachi in transition!
I was going to say, I'm kind of worried about where this is going, but that is a beautiful goal from Gumbachi. Gets the touch to take it away from Lottie Lettuce and force him away from the ball. Steals his own back boost in the process, just so he can run up the field. Has so much faith the Distant will beat Lottie Lettuce to that ball and be able to send it all the way up the field, and then reads it perfectly. The amount of trust and precision, that's something I don't think we'd have seen if Ben was still on the field. It's just that level of cohesion, of chemistry you don't get out of a player who you're playing with the first time. It's a level of trust that you don't have very often, let alone at all. Distant, oh my lord! Off the post, off the crossbar, can't find a way home, and the Outlaws lucky that this one hasn't been extended to 6.
Well, it is up to them. They still have another one here. Distant keeping it up, trying to find it off the touch here. It's going to bounce. A good touch, looking for his teammate, but Lazarus comes in clutch, not allowing that one. The Elite take one off in game number 3. It is 2-1 Fallen. Gumbachi steps up 100% goal participation. 3 assists and 2 assists. 3 goals, 2 goals. The Elite are firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, and it's the cohesion, the chemistry, the tenacity on offense. Both teams had equal amounts of saves, yet the shots completely swayed the opposite way. Outlaws had 4 shots total. The one that didn't get saved found its way in. It's the same story we saw in game number 1. This time around, the Elite, though, more shots, better quality shots. All of them found their way in, basically. And if they weren't, they were saved away by the Outlaws or just hit the posts and bounced out due to, I would say,
physics.
Terminal velocity being reached. I'm going to assume that is the only reason that shot from Distant did not find its way home.
Just Fimsix there hitting in the post and inside of the goal and bouncing back out. It's obviously the ping pong effect.
That's the Fimsix.
Exactly. Well, the Elite came out and they have made a statement in game number 3. They will not be put away. In game 2, they kept it tight, which is all you can do against a really good team. They came out and put everything on the table. It is up to them to continue that. They pressured great at midfield. They were very good in transition. The Outlaws could not get that possession game going, that early game lead, and slowly milk the clock. So I want to see if the Elite can keep control here. The Outlaws do a beautiful job when they're ahead, but they need to find a way to overcome this deficit.
And as we get game number 4 underway. That is right. We are at game number 4. This series has not been wrapped up yet. It is 2-1 in favor of the Outlaws currently, but it very easily swapped the other way around. Lazarus looks to start things strong for the Outlaws. Gumbachi equal to it on defense, and he's really been the game changer. Comes onto the field, gives Distant the freedom, I feel, to have a little bit more fun. Speaking of freedom, Lonnie Lettuce was given all the time in the world to put this one home. Takes the first touch, takes the second, and slams that one home for an early Outlaws lead.
I mean, it was honestly just free real estate there. Just no one in the purple half. It was bouncing around. Lonnie's like, oh, I can still get this? Oh, wait, I can shoot? Oh, I guess I'll score. And once again, an early goal, not 30 seconds in. So that has been a telltale sign for both these teams. They strike early. It's Lottie trying to find that top right post. It will not go in. But very good pressure here from this gray side. The Outlaws not wanting to give up much. Distant low boost here, but still puts it on a nice bounce. Lottie has to get to it and does. So Gumbachi running back home to collect this ball. A nice touch, putting it off the ceiling. Going to try and pass out to mid. No, it's a shot for himself. Lazarus and Lottie both there in time. So maybe an ill-advised one, but just trying to rotate defense around as Lottie has an open net. No, Gumbachi there. Distant and Gumbachi running a 2-on-none. Rising, Distant, the soft touch, but Gumbachi the slam home. Goal secured.
Yeah, I think Distant looked for the redirect here on the post. Great. Oh no, he didn't even catch it. Apparently this was the shot that went in. There is no Distant touch there. And Gumbachi didn't even finish it off. It was the first touch. To be clear. Absolutely calculated. Both players doing it for star points and making it look like they helped to put that one in. They didn't actually. And we find ourselves tied once again in this game. The series still in the favour of the Outlaws, who, reminder, coming into this series, have only lost one series this season, despite their 20-10 record. The Elite have lost everything but one, and it was when these two were playing on the field. Could we be bound for a comeback, and perhaps the second series win of the season, or are we destined to see a falter and a recovery from the Outlaws equivalent to their dominant stay at the top of their division?
I don't want to put anything in the paper yet. All I know is this game is a lot more competitive now that the Wi-Fi issues on the Elite got fixed and Gumbachi tagged in. So that was what really hindered it, and unfortunately Ben could not finish it. Sometimes it just happens. It's the nature of esports itself, an online community. So great job by them. They have the consistency, they have the pressure, and honestly, they have the momentum. It is up to them to finish, and it is a lot more doable than it seemed in Game 1, and honestly, in overtime of Game 2. The bump attempt coming out there from the Outlaws as they look to just shake it out. That was that last Elite player who was in the air. A dangerous push, but enough in time. Lazarus trying to beat one, but can't. Gumbachi flipping the pitch. Lottie stuck here on his own side. A beautiful touch from Gumbachi, but it doesn't find its way in. Distant can't get the shot. That's a hard angle to move. Now both Elite players in the same corner. It's going to get flipped back out, and Gumbachi running home to get some control.
Yeah, and he gets the boost, but he can only get a touch to the midfield line before getting deleted from existence by Lazarus. Lonnie Lettuce, good catch there, good flip underneath the ball, gets it over the top of one. Lazarus will not miss that one, despite the defender on the goal line. Distant can try all he like, but that is the perfect play from Lonnie Lettuce, and he tees up Lazarus once again to make it 2-1 Outlaws. They have their lead back.
How? There was a car in front of that ball, between the ball and the net. It didn't skip like that. Oh, Distant! The kickoff! It's 2 OP! Tie ball game! Yes!
Why are you sounding biased? We're meant to be unbiased.
No, kickoff balls are hilarious!
The Elite tied the game up. They're looking to tie the series up here in game number 4, but it would require them to now find a third goal. Something that they've done once before. Just the once. In terms of when they're not leading the game, I think. I don't know. I've completely lost track of everything. This has completely blown me a new one. Can Lottie let us put this home with a redirect? No, he can't. Gumbachi will clear it away. And Lazarus, we're going to try and tee up an opportunity for the Outlaws. Can't find a way past the defense, even though Distant, a bit of a misslip there, will give the Outlaws possession and maybe an opportunity for them to find more offense, and that third crucial, perhaps even like the clincher goal in this game.
Well, it's beginning to feel like a golden goal territory, but I won't put it because both of these teams strike with such efficiency and they're able to answer anything that the other squad throws at them. So, a very interesting table has been set for us, Fall, and the ball bouncing around. Unfortunately, no kickoff goal to be had as we still have 1:20 left. Lazarus here looking for the pass out to Lettuce. No, actually a soft touch there, just keeping possession. The demo going to try and put an end to this. Lottie wants to beat a very good time. You need to be careful here, Lazarus, though. Very good job coming off that demo and getting there to keep it up. Outlaws looking to put pressure on. They're starting to kill the clock. I think they're trying to be the last team to hold on to the ball and find that last 15-20 second shot.
Yeah, this is the offense we saw. Game 1, Game 2. This is how they won those games. It is that aggressive. Hold your opponents in their own half style where they rotate in so quickly. It's impossible for the defense to break out because every touch away gets challenged. But for the first time in about 1.5 minutes, the Elite out of their own half into the Outlaws, immediately sent back though by Lottie. Great carry from him, looks for the flick, it's on target. Distant will get a touch. That's not the greatest.
Oh!
Great clear from Gombachi away from the oncoming attacker of Lazarus. Will save them for a moment, but Lottie looking for a double tap, can't find it. Lazarus with the follow through at Distant. This time will make the save. He will not be denied. Another overtime chance in game number 4. Or will they? It's still opportunities. It's last second efforts from the Outlaws, but they can't find a way past Distant, past Gombachi. We are almost destined for an overtime game 4 to see if this one's going to be wrapped up.
15 seconds, Fallen. What did I say? 20-15. That is where they turn it on. There were 3 shots, 2 big-time saves, and 1 off the post. The Outlaws tried to kill it, but they could not put this Elite team down. It is now overtime. It is now golden goal, and the Elite fighting for their match life here to force a 2-2 game 5 when they looked all but dead on arrival.
Nope.
Lottie with a beautiful touch to put the series away, make it a 3-1 lead.
And that is the quality. Lettuce just getting there in front of Distant, who just not able to read it correctly, and one mistake on defense, just the one. That's all it took. Outlaws in perhaps the most tense game 4 of their MLE season thus far will wrap the series up. 9 shots, and I'm pretty certain about 7 of them just came in that last 2 minutes of that game. Constant pressure, constant chances, and really that vice-like grip in the midfield, that is what won them game number 4. That is what has won them the series.
Well, I just think it's very important here. Both of these teams have come out and stepped up their play in each and every game, Fallen, and that is rare. Usually one team steps up and the other team answers it, and you don't find that consistency. Game 2 goes to overtime, an absolute thriller. Elite come back and win it big time, and so you're like, okay, the Elite should run it. They got a ton of goals. The Outlaws should not be able to. Game 4, series point. The Outlaws force OT. They have a chance. They take 7 shots there, basically in the last 2 minutes. You said it, putting all the pressure on, just trying to find the kill shot and do it right in OT. Don't let these records fool you. This feels like playoff Rocket League in Week 8. Both of these teams are absolutely fighting tooth and nail, and so I want the Elite to finish in Game 5. Series, it's not theirs, but don't worry about the overall score. Come out and put one more beautiful performance on tape, because this is a very good Outlaws team that will make you pay for any mistake.
Yeah, and the Outlaws themselves, they need, I feel, this 3rd game, or the 4th game win. They want to go 24-11. They want to look strong. The Elite, I feel like their entire playoff run is determined by if they win this one or not. Because they will be down to 9 and I believe 26 if they are to lose, if they are to win. They'll be 8 and 27, which I feel is too much of an inconquerable task to try and get back into this one. The pressure coming out early. No way to pass Lazarus on the there. That's on target. With Lazarus again. The stretch from both Outlaw defenders to try and get in front of that one. Great job from Lazarus though. The defensive might of the Outlaws has mainly rested on his shoulders so far, and he's done such a great job all across the field of applying pressure, of being the man to put them away when they need them, but also be the guy that keeps them out when they're needed.
That's a near record right there. A Savior medal in less than 30 seconds. I mean, just the pressure relentless from the Elite. They're still looking for more shot as Distant is just denied at the point of attack. Lottie is up. This gray side just hemmed in right now. Finally able to get some room, some breathing space, and some boost as Lazarus has been stuck in that goalie box basically all game in this first minute. Very happy to get out, but now it's 2-on-1. Lottie, the last man back, a very good 50 to 9. That one. Distant is up, trying to find the touch, but it's too high off the crossbar.
great power, though, had that oomph factor. I love to use that word as just an adjective, the oomph factor. It has done so many players so much more of good to hit the ball as hard as you like and just send it on target. There's no way a defender gets up in time for it, but you have to be accurate with your oomph. You can't just throw your oomph around and pray that it finds its way on target. The post ain't going to be forgiving all the time. You have to make sure that your oomph is directed in the correct place. And right now, the Elite looking to try and find a way. Instead of going for an oomph shot, they're looking for a finesse shot. And I feel like that's probably the best point of call since the oomph has not necessarily worked. How many times can I say that word before it runs out of oomph ability?
I want you to know, I pulled out the notepad there and I was writing down accurate oomph. Oomph versus finesse.
Yeah, oomph
Need
versus
oomph.
finesse.
Don't shoot
Medium
oomph. Medium oomph.
Well, no, oomph is just a direct measurement of power. That's finesse.
Yes.
That is what finesse looks like.
Yes.
Gumbashi with a double tap from heaven as he sends that one home. What a beautiful goal.
You talk about it, the power shots, we've seen them ring in and out, but just the soft car control and enough of a touch to sneak it past the defender. And you said it, from heaven, got that Finnick up in the air and then shot back down like a shooting star. Elite trying to find another one here to kick it off. Already a 1-goal lead, trying to extend it to do another one from Gumbachi, but this is too far right. The Outlaws reeling once again at halftime. They are down 1, but a very overcomable lead. They have been down by more and made it a lot closer. Distant bump for a shovel there. Lottie has an easy read, and that's an open net, and it's a tie ball game.
Yep, that's all it took. A single bump. Not even that impressive a bump. Just a light bump into the corner. Distin can't get the touch. Slows the play down. Gives the rest of the time to push forward. And just like that, tie game. Half the game would go. Are we destined game 5 overtime?
I don't know,
I
but
feel like it.
I feel like it too. I mean, absolutely beautiful last game, and it was series on the line. I feel like both of these teams are going to continue this momentum. It's just who makes that last mistake and if they make it in regulation or not. Lazarus, a very beautiful dish and a big-time save from Gumbachi. Lottie couldn't get that second touch off of the far post, so no goal to be had. But Lazarus and the Outlaws still looking for another one, a double commit as both purple cars collide. A save is their answer, but that ball still stays on. Another double commit. You can't do that. Lottie has too much control. Another goal.
I was going to make the point that I feel like the Elite, if any team is going to make the defensive mistake that costs them this game, it would be the Elite. Now, that defense has not looked solid since the beginning of Game 4, but it has just held on long enough. Now it is crumbling like the Colosseum. It is not standing up to the test of time and the test of a ragged band of Outlaws slamming their way through on horseback to a 3-1 lead with 1:50 to go.
That's a very interesting picture to see a castle crumbling and have this picturesque cowboy with the bandana riding into the sunset past it, you know? I don't think I've seen that movie yet, but right now we are seeing it play out in front of our eyes. The Elite, their legacy has been a beautiful series, but not a lot of wins to show for it. Only one right now, and they are down 2 goals. Lottie, a big-time touch there, and another one to add to their repertoire. Gumbachi, though, very good near-post rotation to stop that offensive attack. Another touch from that Finnick, but not a lot of boost. Lottie, once again, another save here, another epic save, and just another denial to this Elite resource.
Cavaliers and Cowboys.
I'll play that. I'll play that.
I'm so proud of that. It's Command and Conquer, but better. Goal for Lazarus, puts it on home. 4-1 at the scoreline right now. The Outlaws almost having their way with them at this point. Lazarus, great dunk over the top of Distant there on the goal line. Just showing again the amount of control that the Outlaws have had. This is very reminiscent of game number 1, with the control in the offensive half. They're able to just apply pressure to a point where there's very little the Elite can do. They are stuck in their own half. They are stuck with no boost. They can't win the 50s. They can't break out. When they do get a beat, it does lead to a goal. It does lead to a goal, but it's not happening often enough, as Gumbachi will slot this one home. Makes it 4-2 the scoreline. Let us diving in a little bit rushed there, but I mean, when you're that confident, I guess you might as well.
Just send it, man.
Might as well full send. Just full send.
Well, I have to agree with you. The scoreline definitely feels that way, and this last minute and a half has felt more game 1. But the Elite came out and put the pressure on, and they just had no finish to it. But now we're getting game 2. They had a big lead. They are overcoming it once again, and guess what? Another kickoff goal.
I may have mentally called this one just a little soon. I'll be honest with you.
You were just calling for overtime.
I was calling for overtime, but mentally at 4-1 I'm thinking, you know what, this one's about wrapped up. I have mentally checked out. I'm back in. I am back in at the airport. We are going for another one. I feel like the Elite have broken out. They've been able to get pressure, but what a clear from Lonnie Leonard. Sorry,
just hit
a musty off to the sidewalk.
Just styling and profiling have the lead, a lot of fun, and that's something even really fun to see is that I feel like Gumbachi and Distant don't have the record to show it for this series, but they have had fun, they have looked efficient, and the same can definitely be said for the Outlaws. Both of these teams have scored in bunches, they've played beautiful defense, and they just do so much, so well. It is just amazing to watch. Gumbachi and company, only 12 seconds left to try and tie this one. Lottie, a very good tier there. He's got to beat Distant and does, so now that probably is a nail in the coffin, but this ball can stand for a long time. A demo comes through, but Lottie's still on it here. He's just going to push it down. No, it's still up. Distant putting it out way too far, bouncing down. Outlaws survive the absolute rush that were the Elite. They were trying to get it back, but could not finish.
Yeah, and a great job from the Outlaws to secure that one. It's very difficult when you find yourselves towards the end of a series to hold on to a series lead and really just make sure that you're wrapping things up. Especially we saw in game number 3, it sort of flipped to the favour of the Elite. They looked like the stronger side, but when push came to shove, the Outlaws they had enough in the tank. Game 4, they wrapped it up when they needed to. They had the ability to wrap it up, and they did so. And the Elite just sort of ran out of gas. They had the comeback in 2. They had 3 completely. And 4 just slipped. And as soon as it slipped out of their fingers, it's 2 overtimes in a row you've lost. That sort of breaks the mentality, and you could see that for the majority of game number 5. It just felt like they were out of the series. They didn't really know what to do, and it cost them when it mattered the most.
I hate to try and be like overly positive, but so many times you see really good teams unable to close out games. That is what the Outlaws just showed you. That was a picture-esque perfect way to close out a series. They win in overtimes. They lost a big-time game, come back and put the series away, and then stem a very good a comeback attempt from the Elite. So, great job for them. The Elite, they were down huge. They had to pull in a new player. They overcame adversity and brought this series back. Both teams showed so many great qualities there. Unfortunately, just one had to lose.
Yeah, and as we look forward to the next series on stream for you, we have another rather interesting series. It's the Blizzard versus the Spartans in Master League for the doubles game mode once again. We'll be taking a short intermission before that, though. We'll be right back to bring you some more high-octane action here on the Minor League Esports Twitch channel.